Hey guys, Blue Potato here with my first game that I played in the new patch 3.3 with Tryndamere in the jungle. I utilized the new changes to the keystone of Kraken Slayer. Although I don't utilize on-hit effects with Tryndamere, I thought it'd be fun to try it anyway. This build is really simple: Blade of the Ruined King, Static Shiv, Glorious Enchantment with Vampire Boots, Infinity Edge, Wit's End, and Mordor Reminder. For my runes, I use Kraken Slayer, Vampirism to make it easier for me to farm in jungle, Second Wind again to make it easier for me in the jungle, and Mastermind to take turrets, dragons, Rift Heralds, and Baron a little easier. For your convenience, here are the runes and an explanation as to why I use them. The reason I decided to go jungle was because I wanted to try out the changes of jungle. More specifically, Smite does extra burn damage, and a lot of the enemies at the start have 200 less health. So it means that my first farm, or my first clear, is going to be much easier to deal with. As usual, here is the end game screen. You see Amumu vs Garen in Baron lane, Tryndamere vs Shyvana in the jungle, Pyke vs Katarina in the middle, Jinx and Lux vs Ashe and Echo in Dragon lane. Another reason why I did this video in the jungle was because I see a lot of people asking me, how do I make gold in the jungle? I ended this game with about 1200 gold per minute, so it's possible. Yeah, I was fed. I had like 14 kills and 1 death, but that doesn't equate to a lot of gold. Like if you go back to the end game screen, you see Pyke had 15 kills and he only had 17,000 gold. Where did I make that extra 5,000 gold from? To start off the game, I'm going to go ahead and get the pink trinket, which keeps me a permanent ward until somebody removes it or I change the location to another place. Then what I'll do is recall, get the sweeping trinket to check for wards while I gank or invade the enemy jungle, and return to red before red even spawns. Now with the changes to red buff being 200 HP less, not having someone leash for you, it's fine, it doesn't matter. But this is what you want to do when you are jungling. So you see how I'm kind of bringing the red buff closer towards the Raptors because that's my next destination. Although it doesn't seem like it saves you a lot of time, these are valuable seconds that can make a change to your game, right? So these are small little nuances you can make and change to your daily games and see how it feels. And these are the small changes that I mean. So once I smite it and get it down low enough, I'll just spin and look how close I am to Raptors. That saved me 2-3 seconds. But that's 2-3 seconds that the enemy jungler might not have, right? Then what I do is I group the Raptors together, so when I hit the big one, the rest of them are getting hit as well. So I noticed Shyvana was ganking Dragon lane, so I don't smite the Raptors. Instead I save my smite to go and take her blue buff. And this is why it's ideal to have this sweeping trinket. You'll see how valuable it is right here. I use it and I remove a ward. So 1, it removes vision, and 2, I get an extra 30 gold for that. That's already extra income that I didn't have. And since blue buff like this is much closer than me going to my other side of the jungle, saves even more time. Alright, so now I have 2 charges for smite, so I'll use 1 for blue buff and I'll save 1 for scuttle. But you see the middle lane, you see Shyvana's there. Pyke tells me he's on his way, so I'm going to go help him out. This is why map awareness is also important. Would you have missed Shyvana ganking Pyke and let him die there? Might have happened, maybe it didn't happen, but thankfully I got the kill. Unfortunately, Pyke died. I returned to go get this ward for an extra 30 gold. So all these little things that I'm doing right are giving me a little bit more access to gold. Shyvana's dead, which means that she can't farm for a little bit, so I'm going to take this scuttle pretty much for free. So now there's 2 questions to ask yourself while you jungle. 1. Would you have invaded the jungle if you had saw Shyvana at Dragon lane, or would you have noticed her at all? And 2, would you have noticed Shyvana and Pyke fighting it out in middle lane and reacted on time? Now, I'm still farming here. What a lot of people also do is they go back once they have enough money for an item or 2. Like, I don't need to go back. I have full health. What's the point? I'm going to keep farming and make my gold as fast as I can. Now I'm going to use my ward trinket again to make sure there's no one here. Nothing here, so Garen doesn't even see me. Might have noticed my aura and stuff like that, but this guy's an easy kill now too. And look at Kraken Slayer doing that extra free damage for me. I'm going to try to get away here. I see Amumu on his way to Baron lane, so I'm going to keep Shyvana here, keep her distracted, and hopefully Amumu gets here on time. I'll use my ultimate and my slow, and thankfully also get Shyvana. That's 2 kills. Now I'm on a killing spree, and it's barely 3 minutes into the game. That's 1 kill per minute. Now, if I had recalled after Scuttle Crab, which a lot of people do, I'd only have 1400 gold. This time I recalled was on a killing spree and I made 2600 gold, which means I was able to buy both components of my Blade of the Ruined King and 2-tier boots. I'm going to be farming so much faster than Shyvana right now, it's not even funny. I'm also level 6 by 3 minutes, so that's pretty crazy too. I'm ahead of pretty much everyone in this game right now. So I see an opportunity at Dragon Lane because Lux has her ultimate. If she had used this before I had ganked, the enemy team would not have known I was there, and she would have been able to hit that. But because they were reactive towards my gank, they were on the defensive. That's a lost cause, it's fine, it is what it is. Just got back to farming, but you see Pyke is getting really aggressive and he tries to turret dive. I tell him to retreat, see if I can find an angle here. I E through the wall, I get Shyvana pretty low and I chase her down. Pyke misses his ult, or doesn't miss it, but doesn't execute. I'm using my pink trinket to see if there's anybody around me, and now I'm going to counter jungle her again. So she's dead, so I'm going to take these Krugs. Whether or not me or Jinx take it, it doesn't matter because our team will have it and not Shyvana. Have you ever heard the saying, patience is a virtue? Here, I'm waiting for the perfect opportunity or the right angle to go in. I see Katarina on my side, so I want to back off. Jinx uses her flash for some reason. Echo, right here, he's popping out, so I'm going to try to see if I can kill him. I can, unfortunately, but they use exhaust on me, which is good because they don't have exhaust when I actually dive in. Shyvana's there, Katarina's there, and I'm waiting, still waiting for the good opportunity to go in. Kat is now overextended, Pyke got a good hook. I'm using my ultimate, Katarina's dead, Pyke uses his stun, and that's Shyvana dead. So that's 4 dead people to our 2. That's a pretty good win. I was hoping Pyke would have stayed so he would have helped me take Dragon. I probably could have done differently if he had stayed. Unfortunately, he left. So, I'm committed to take Dragon before the enemy team gets here. My team has an advantage because they respawn sooner. Unfortunately, spoiler alert, I get outsmited by Shyvana. It happens, it sucks, it's an unfortunate situation. You just gotta move on, laugh about it, and call it a day. So, yeah, unfortunately we lose this dragon, Amumu dies, we killed 3 of them, but it just goes to show, right, like, you can't do everything perfectly, and because Amumu died, there he goes, pinging my smite, because obviously I got outsmited. It sucks. It happens. What are you going to do about it, right? Like, we can't really go back in time. My smite, I missed it, it is what it is, let's move on. As a team, we can recover. The thing is that sometimes when people ping you like that, it kind of upsets you, right? It's like, why are you pinging me? Back off, bro. You couldn't have done any better. And all of this, like, ego comes into play, and that's what you don't want to happen. There's 2 ways to go around this. You can either mute the team and ignore their pings, or move on with it. It depends on how you feel and how your mental is at that time. Like, that recall back there, that was pure tilt. There, I knew that was a bad spot to do it. I did it anyway because I was kind of disheartened because I got outsmited. But eventually that sadness goes away and you're kind of upset at yourself for doing it and you try to do better next time. So Rift Herald is the next objective that we're fighting for. So my whole goal here is to secure it for my team. And the most important way of doing this is to make sure that Shyvana is not part of the equation. And I was chasing her off to see if I can zone her away. Thankfully she returned and Pyke executed her. I'm super low. Garen runs the other way, thankfully, so I have a chance to recall, go back at the Tiny Fruit. Now I'm healed up. You may have noticed that the last time I recalled was when I purchased the components for Blade of the Ruined King. Now I can complete that, buy my little shard, buy Brawler's Greaves. So this is a pretty big purchase again. I have 6,000 gold and it is 7 minutes into the game. So I'm almost at that 1,000 gold per minute area, but I'm still not there yet. Unfortunately, Garen managed to take the first turret. So Rift Herald is the most important thing for me to take right now. I spin across the wall and I realize that Garen and Shyvana are both there. I'm going to hit Garen to see if I can spin away, but look at Rift Herald's health. I'm going to spin in and outsmite Shyvana. So now me and Shyvana are tied. In the war of the junglers, she took my dragon, I took her Rift Herald. We're even now. No one should ping me for smite anymore. And I'm thinking about where I fit in into this team fight. Should I go in? Should I not? I don't have my ultimate up, so I'm just wasting time. I'm going to leave the fight, let them duke it out. Instead, I'm going to heal up. I have Vampirism, Second Wind, and Blade of the Ruined King, so my life steal right now is absolutely off the charts. I'm going to probably heal up during this wave here. And you see, Pike actually managed to pop off in that team fight. So instead of me dying, I'm pushing this wave out, and Pike managed to take care of the fight. This is something for you to think about in general. Sometimes the team fights that you think you should participate in aren't the most important. If I had stayed in that team fight, I probably would have died. But instead, you have Jinx and Lux taking a turret on the top side, me taking a turret from the bottom side, and Pike getting a double kill. A lot of times, games are decided depending on the team fights that we choose to participate in. Again, if I had fought in that fight, I would have died, would have been a waste of time. You gotta think about how else you can help the team win the game. Because remember, KDA isn't the most important thing. Destroying the Nexus is. I can be at 609, but not be taking turrets, not be taking care of Dragon or Herald, and the enemy team can be out pushing us, and I would lose anyway. And Garen here got caught out, so me, Lux, and Amumu are going to take care of him. And I'm going to recall, and the reason I speed this up is because it's not really important to the game. However, this portion is. You saw that I bought a chainmail, which means I'm going to build towards my Guardian Angel. However, I don't see it's necessary because I haven't died yet, so instead I decided to build the components towards Infinity Edge to do more damage. And so instead of me telling you, don't engage in all fights, I'd rather show you what that looks like. So this was a mistake I did in the game. We're not ready to engage, and instead I waste both my Ghost and my Glorious Enchantment for nothing. I go and I engage against Shyvana, and I start getting bursted down, so I just leave. Like this, I did absolutely nothing to help my team in this team fight. Instead, I could help Jinx in Dragon Lane because Dragon is up in 30 seconds. Or start farming. Like I did nothing for my team there, except for almost die. But it's okay, so we can always come back from mistakes as long as they're not too big. Here, the enemy team is pushing and they're still being really aggressive, so what I do is I go around them, and I catch out whoever is behind. So we have Katarina here, I use my ultimate, I exhaust her, and she's dead. Shyvana's here, almost dead. I was trying to get the kill on her, but you know, I'd rather leave and heal up. That was the best play we could have done in that situation to recoup our losses. Jinx just died because Ashe and Garen split apart from the group, and Dragon is up, so this is going to be a big fight. And you're going to notice that I'm not going to leave Dragon at all, but my team decides to push back Garen, which is smart. That's called zoning. And Ashe decides to flash into the pit. I kill her, and I manage to get Dragon. So now, just in general, in the realm of jungles, I've secured a Dragon, Rift Herald, and Shyvana only has one. This is a huge win for us. Now the question is, what would you do after you just settled that? Would you recall and go buy your BF sword, or find a way to manipulate the game again to be more favorable? I'm going to decide to stay, although Lux took my scuttle, which kind of sucks. That's a gold for me, and she takes some of these Krugs. I'll be fine. I'll survive without him. We're going to push out this lane, and I'm going to counter jungle. So this means when Shyvana comes back, she doesn't have Krugs, and she doesn't have red buff. These are experience points and gold that she's missing out on that I was able to get even more of a lead on. While you're watching this game, I want you to ask yourselves, what would you do next? Now, I highlighted where I'm going to next, so even before the Rift Herald's announcement showed up, I was on my way there anyway, because that is my next objective. The only unfortunate thing here is that my team isn't near Rift Herald, so it's going to be me alone, and Shyvana is there first. That's crazy. She smites again early. I managed to steal it, but now it's a 1v2. I think I'm going to die here, so I might as well try to take out Shyvana while I'm at it, and I do, but I know I'm dead, so I might as well have taken one person out, right? And that's the funny thing that I notice a lot of people do, is when they realize they're dead, they'll pop like flash, heal, barrier, and just keep running the other way. If you know you're dead, you might as well turn around and blast them. Do some damage as opposed to no damage. And typically I fast forward these deaths, but this time I don't, because I open up death recap here. I see that Echo did the majority of damage to me, and since he does magic damage, I want to find something that gives me magic resist, which is Wit's End. It gives me attack speed and magic resist. Alright, fast forward time. I'm going towards my red buff because I need a buff. The interesting thing here is that Lux looks like she's on a mission here to take my red buff. Luckily, I managed to take it, but here she also tries taking my raptor, so I'm not sure what I did to her, but she's trying to steal my gold, and that's not cool, right? The first time, that's fine. The second time, it is what it is, but this time it looks like she's following me deliberately to take my stuff. Alright, and positioning lesson time. You see Shyvana and Garen there. I don't want them, they're too tanky for me. Ashe, there she is, split apart. That's an easy kill for me. I turn around for Shyvana because Garen in this case is the tankiest one. I turret dive because I can take these both easily. I E out. Easy triple kill, and that was all because I was patient and found the right positioning and angle for me to get into that fight. Sometimes people just engage and they're headstrong and they're not sure why they're engaging, but because they're in a fighting, they're just going to keep fighting until they die. Sometimes you gotta be smart, wait it out, and the window may or may not appear. If it does, take advantage of it, which is what I did there. So the recurring theme here, right, is that I do a big fight or we get a big win, and I make sure I take Shyvana's source of income, and also her new passive comes from killing monsters. So since I'm taking all of that away, she loses 3 things: gold, experience, and her passive, which is a little convoluted to explain, but pretty much she gets stacks for every monster she kills. After a certain amount of time, her abilities get empowered. So my first thought here was to engage onto her because I knew Rift Turtle was going to take that turret, but I don't know where anyone else is, so I'm kind of skeptical about engaging, and thankfully I backed off because Echo and Cat are here. But since it's 3 people here now, I'm going to go ahead and take her far even more. She ult across the wall. I see Garen coming from middle lane, so I'm just going to start attacking people. If I kill her, I kill her. Awesome. If I die at this point, I die. But turns out I managed to get a kill, and I got away scot-free. I auto attack Garen here just in case I need to E out, because every critical shot I do gives my spin back off cooldown, and I'm out of here. What do I do now? Take more jungle camps from Shyvana. And so ask yourself this: when would you have recalled in this situation? I have a big lead on Shyvana, and her camps are all free for me to take. If I had recalled, I'd leave with 4,200 gold. Instead, I'm going to push out these waves. I'm going to get 2 or 3 minion waves, all of her jungle camps. Now I have over 5,000 gold. This is a great time to recall. I also helped push this wave in before I left, giving us a bigger advantage. So now I can recall and wait for the enemy team to react on pushing these lanes back. This gives me room to breathe and recall without really worrying about anything. In this back alone, I was able to purchase both my Wit's End and my Mortal Reminder. I'm at full build at 15-16 minutes. That's crazy. Now I know Shyvana is going to be in this dragon pit because she was at dragon lane when I recalled. And Mumu pinged dragon, so I knew that was going to be a 2v1, so that was an easy kill and an easy dragon for us to steal. So hopefully you remember that I pushed these waves towards the enemy side before I recalled, and that means that these minions are barely starting to add up to push back towards us, which means it's so much easier for me to push from dragon to 2nd and 3rd tier turrets. I'm going to help out to see if I can push this lane out while the rest of my team either groups together and pushes it with me or push Fletcher somewhere else. I'm so fed that I'm just going to turret dive Ashe and kill her. Echo is pretty much screwed here, and that's a double kill under the turret. I almost die here, but thankfully again my vampirism, 2nd wind, and my lifesteal in general is crazy. I didn't mark it on the map, but you see Garen and Katarina pushing towards our inhibitor turret, and I simply can't allow that. Would you have noticed these guys pushing this wave in? Now my goal here isn't to kill them, but it is to make them use as many skills as they want to on me. I managed to get Ignite and Cat's ultimate. I also got her low enough so Pyke can kill her with his ultimate. He has a refresh ultimate, and Garen is also pretty low. So Pyke will get a double kill, and I'll get kill gold because of his passive. So what would you do in this case? Would you help Pyke push out mid? What I'd rather do is push out the other side turret. We're going to take 2 inhib turrets at this point, and my minions are so close to me that it doesn't make any sense for me not to come to this side. Jinx and Pyke got the center turret without me being there. Now my minions are at the other inhibitor turret, so we can take the 3rd one. I'm going to distract Echo from going near Jinx by making him use his ultimate, and now Jinx can take this 3rd turret practically for free. So it took about like a minute and a half maybe, but now 3 inhibitor turrets are all gone. Going back to look at this video, it actually took like 40 seconds, which is insane. 40 seconds for all 3 inhibs to go down. And although I don't need gold anymore, I have full build, I'm still taking as much as I can from Shyvana. She's only level 13, so these jungle camps taking from her are making her fall behind even more. I think in this game I took more of her jungle camps than I took of my own. I was waiting for an accumulation of super minions so I can do, a meme ending. I know the game is over, so I'm gonna see how many kills I can get. That's 1. This will be the 2nd one. I'm hoping for the 3rd kill, the triple kill with Echo, but he managed to roll into the fountain. And at this point they surrendered, so that was a good game, that was fun. So hopefully this video helped you envision what counter jungling effectively looks like, when to do it, and why pushing out lanes is very helpful for the team. The new map's a trip, and I ended that game with 4 medals with MVP. There's a description. I also ended with like a bunch of accolades. If you don't know, you can press the shield of MVP. It'll show you what they mean, and yeah. So, good games. Hopefully this was fun and entertaining for you guys. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments. Someone invited me to play again. If I don't know you, I won't play with you. Sorry, friend. But yeah, good games, and hopefully this season you guys climb higher than you guys did last season. As always, have a great one, Summoners. Take it easy.